Hello everyone, this is Professor A.R. Shinde. In this presentation, we are going to study greenhouse cooling systems part 1. Okay, so we'll proceed further. So here, cooling arrangements, natural cooling techniques can reduce the peak cooling power demand of a greenhouse. This helps in reducing the size of cooling equipment and duration for which it is required. Passive cooling encompasses a number of passive heat rejection mechanism including ventilation, infiltration, infrared transfer to sky, and earth contact cooling. The first step in the design of any passive cooling is to reduce the unnecessary thermal loads on the greenhouse. There are usually two types of thermal load in greenhouse: exterior loads due to the climate and internal loads due to the respiration, evaporation from plants, and due to main working for intercultural operations. Depending on weather, the thermal load enters the greenhouse in three major ways: penetration of direct beam sunlight, convert, convert, convection, conversion of heat from groundwater absorption, ground after absorption, infiltration of outside air. So in this introduction, they have told us that the natural ventilation is a good method for cooling the greenhouse. Okay, so it depends on the various equipments, various personnel living in it, various instrumentation used in the greenhouse. Okay, various filters, various instrumentation, various material used in the greenhouse structure. Okay, so these are the various factors affecting the cooling system. Okay, so they have told us the usual two types of thermal load in greenhouses are there. Okay, so this is first is exterior load due to the climate, and second is internal load due to the respiration, evaporation from plants and due to main working for intercultural operations. So first is so external loads due to the climate. So external loads or external air flowing into the greenhouse, which will cause the um, warm air entering into the greenhouse. So it is the proper ventilation or proper warm water ventilation provided in the greenhouse. And second is due to the respiration or evaporation from the plants or crops, or from the heat uh, transferred from the working in the main or the personal working in the greenhouse. Okay, then the thermal loads enters in greenhouse in three major ways. So first is penetration of direct beam sunlight. So first is directly penetration or reflection of sunlight or solar radiation into the greenhouse. Then second is conversion of heat from ground after absorption. So second is conversion of heat from the groundwater absorption. The sunlight which is absorbed from the sun is absorbed by the ground, the water stored in it, the ground bed or sand bed. Then it is converted. Then this water stored is converted into the heat from the heat, and this is transferred in the greenhouse. Then third is infiltration of outside air. So the infiltration of outside air, that is, there is no filtration or there is no obstruction of any air, uh, or there should be the filtration, or there should be restriction for the type of the air yeah, allowed to enter in the greenhouse. So that is the infiltration of outside air. Different cooling concepts will be discussed in the following section. Ventilation. So natural ventilation. This approach uses sunshine to induce air movement through natural ventilation for desired plant temperature. The heat energy gained by the greenhouse room air increases its temperature. Thus, the density of hot air decreases and moves in upward direction and accumulated near the roof. A, a temperature difference is set up between greenhouse room air and ambient air. This temperature difference may cause a natural air movements through a roof vent provided in the roof, as shown in figure 3.14. The pocket of hot air created inside at temperature greater than ambient air replaced by outside air through natural ventilation with the help of vents provided at the bottom of the greenhouse. A thermal chimney effect is thus created, which can cause continuous air circulation through the greenhouse to provide solar passive cooling. In order to have effective cooling, the design of the natural ventilation should be such that the number of air change per hour could be maintained between 25 to 50 as against one air change in case of infiltration. Though natural ventilation does not provide cooling in all weather conditions, particularly in dry climate when air temperature is higher than the greenhouse room air temperature, but it can play an important role in cooling of greenhouses without incorporating sophisticated instrumentation equipments. The North Indian climatic conditions, natural ventilation through vent becomes more energy saving during the month of March, April. So yeah, they have told us the role of natural ventilation. So generally we are providing natural ventilation whatever the structure may be, okay, and also to reduce the the excessive heating of the structure, we are providing the exhaust panel at the top of the structure so as to get so as to um, pass the excess warm water through the exhaust fans or exhaust passage and to maintain the cool temperature of, or the cold temperature in the greenhouse. Okay, so here is also in the figure 3.14 they have shown the exhaust passage, okay, where from where the warm water is passed. Okay, then the they have also told that the chimneys are also used for the greenhouse circulation, water greenhouse air circulation. Okay, the natural circulation is provided through it. Okay, then the rate of which it can flow is also dependent on the windows or air passage which is provided at the lower levels of the structure. Okay, also they have told that in the North India the natural ventilation becomes more energy saving during the months of March and April, where there is more there where there is more warm air, or which is summer, which is the months of summer where there are flowing of warm air. Okay, then second is forced convection. Okay, if the rate of heating of room air temperature becomes higher than the rate of heat removal through roof vents, then the heat removal is only possible through forced convection. In this case, a fan should be provided in the greenhouse as shown in 3.15. The rate of heat removal depends on the capacity of fan and its RPM. For North Indian climatic conditions, the heat removal from greenhouse by forced convection is needed during the month of April, May. So here they have, if natural ventilation is not able to provide cooling of the greenhouse or cooling ventilation in the greenhouse, so we have to just use the forced conversion or forced passage of the or forced removal of the warm water, warm air from the structure. Okay, so forced exit is done with the help of instrumentation like fan or exhaust fan. Okay, the the rate of the the rate of the heat removal depends on the capacity of fan and its RPM. Okay, so this is required mainly in the months of April and May where there is humid climate. Okay, okay, so this was all about forced conversion. Okay? Evaporative cooling, roof evaporative cooling. Evaporation of water takes place by conversion of sensible heat into latent heat. A large amount of heat is therefore removed through this method. There are many ways to achieve evaporative cooling. Since evaporation occurs only at liquid air interface, it is best to provide as much surface area as possibly between water and the air. Evaporative cooling methods have long been used in dry climates where water is not scarce. One way of achieving evaporative cooling is to cover the roof of greenhouse by gunny cloths and spraying water over it. The heat is dissipated from the greenhouse air and cause water to evaporate from the gunny cloth, which in turn provide cooling effect. Continuous evaporation from a thin film of water over the roof lowers the temperature of the roof. Hence, the microclimate inside the greenhouse. Solar radiation and wind velocity over the roof The roof affects the rate of evaporation of water but not the temperature of the roof. For this method to be effective, the roof cover should be waterproof and made as thin as possible. In this case, the transmittivity of roof with respect to solar radiation is also significantly reduced. This causes lower rate of heating the room air inside greenhouse. For North Indian climatic condition, the heat removal from greenhouse by roof evaporative cooling may required during the month of May-June. A schematic view of roof evaporative cooling has been shown in 3.16. So this is all about roof evaporative cooling. So here in this method, they have told us to roof evaporative method. In this roof evaporative method, the gunny bags and water is spread over the roofs, or the gunny bags with wet gunny bags are spread or put over the roof coverings. Okay, so this so this greenhouse air is attract or is um, cause these gunny bags cause this greenhouse air to convert it into the cool air by coming in contact with it, as the heat is dissipated from this greenhouse air or the roof house of greenhouse by gunny bags. Okay, so this method can be useful where the water scarcity is not there. Okay, plenty of water is available, so as to spray the water or spread the water throughout the roof. Okay, so here you can see the figure where heat removal is done in by this method. Okay, so 3.15 is the figure represent the forced conversion, forced removal of the heat from the greenhouse. So here is the forced removal. Then this is the roof evaporative cooling. Here is the shade cloth provided. Then this water circulation path where ventilation is done, water distribution pipe where this water is provided from to this inclined passage. Okay, excess water flow. Then north wall brick is provided. Then trough is provided. This is water storage tank provided below this, where from where this water is spread. Okay, then ground, then pump. So here through this water pipe, the water is spread over the roof, and this heat is dissipated from these gunny bags. Okay. Next, pad fan cooling system. Okay. So I'll read it fully first. Pad and fan system consists of exhaust fan at one end of the greenhouse and pump circulating water through and over a porous pad installed at the opposite end of the greenhouse. If all vents and doors are closed, when the fans operate, air is pulled through the wetted pads and water evaporates. Removing energy from the air lowers the temperature of the air being introduced into the greenhouse. The air will be at its lowest temperature of the air being introduced into the greenhouse. The air will be at its lowest temperature immediately after passing through the pads. As the air moves across the house to the fans, the air picks up heat from the plants and soil, and the temperature of the air gradually increases. A temperature gradient across the greenhouse results with the pad side being coolest and the fan side warmest. Okay, so here this is pad fan cooling system. So here at this end of the greenhouse there are pad fan provided, and this here they have provided the exhaust fan. So when the air is circulated, the pad fans, this warm air is removed from this exhaust fan, and the pad fans cooling pad makes an entry of cooling air through the greenhouse, through the exterior environment into the greenhouse. So this cool air or cooling pad and makes entry of cool air, but from as this air flows through the greenhouse from here to this, this air comes in the contact with the crops, and it gets the touch of warm air, and coming at this end, the warm air is removed by this exhaust fan, and the cool temperature or cool air is maintained in this greenhouse. Okay, so working principle of pad fan evaporative cooling system. Evaporative cooling is a process that reduces the temperature of air by evaporation of water onto the airstream. As water is evaporated, it needs the latent heat of vaporization, which is lost from the airstream. As water is evaporated, it needs the latent heat of vaporization, which is lost from the air, reducing its temperature. Two temperatures are important when dealing with evaporative cooling systems. The first is the dry bulb temperature. It is the temperature measured by a regular thermometer exposed to the airstream. A second air temperature is important in evaporative cooling systems. This temperature is referred to as the wet bulb temperature. The wet bulb temperature is the lowest temperature that can be reached by the evaporation of water. The dry and wet bulb temperatures can be used to calculate the relative humidity. The equipment used to evaporate water move cooled air through the greenhouse and exhaust warm air from the greenhouse comprises the and pad and fan cooling system. It is the wet bulb temperature that determines to what temperature air can be cooled by evaporation of water. During the heat of the afternoon, when the dry bulb temperature is normally at its peak, the difference between the dry bulb and wet bulb temperature is the greatest. Thus, the greatest potential for cooling is obtained during the heat of the day. The basis of any evaporative cooling system is the evaporation of water into an airstream. The most common way of accomplishing this is pad and fan view. Okay. The evaporative cooling pad size of 3 by 1.15 meter square on west wall is provided for cooling the greenhouse in summer. The cooling pad made of corrugated cellulose that has been impregnated with wetting agents is used to provide maximum surface area for evaporation and least resistance to airflow. A suitable pump with water tank was attached to the cooling pad for continuous water trickling. The hot and dry air passes through evaporative cooling pad and gets cooled with contact with water trickling over cooling pad. The cooled and humid air passes over the plant placed inside the greenhouse. The photograph of experimental greenhouse has been shown in figure 3.6. So this is as I have told earlier that there is passage of there is flowing of air from the external environment through the cooling pad, which has the cooling agents and water agents in it, which makes the water cool and which is passed into the greenhouse where the water can be made or touched by the uh, air from the exhalation of the CO2 from the plants or crops, which can be again at this end can be east end can be removed by the exhaust fan. Okay, so this exhaust fan remove the warm air from this end and the cool temperature is maintained inside the greenhouse. Okay, so all these processes explained in this type. So this is the working principle of cooling pad, or this is the figure of cooling pad. Hot and dry air is entered from this side and cold and humid air in from this side. Okay, distribution pipe is provided for the making the distribution of the both type of air. Okay, then principal photograph of experimental greenhouse with cooling pad is provided here. This type of cooling pads are provided at this end. Okay, so this was all about the part one of the cooling system.